god. So anime only covers the Golden Age arc, which is a flashback arc. It's just a flashback. Oh my god. But reading the manga, you have to start reading from the Black Swordsman arc, which is the first volume.
All right. So did you watch that whole video, the Rumble video?
The
Tate Rumble video. Tate Rumble video.
I don't think I did.
Oh my god, it's really good. I mean, you probably shouldn't watch it here because it'll just get
Rumble
taken down.
video. I'm thinking like a video. So I don't know. He's had a few that came out.
Yeah, I'm just talking about the very first one, the emergency meeting one.
Oh, I saw some of it. I didn't see all of it.
Yeah, God, that shit was so wild, bro. Holy moly! Like they had 100K viewers when they were streaming.
Oh shit.
On Rumble. That's like ridiculous.
Yeah, I did notice their numbers on Rumble were really high, like compared to
they're ridiculous.
anyone else.
Yeah. And all they're doing on Rumble is telling people to come to Rumble. Like with the largest influence probably in the world right now, at least it was, all they're doing is trying to convert people to alternative social media platforms.
Well, the moment I saw their videos, I didn't watch the whole emergency meeting, but I did see some of it. I immediately started uploading some of my personal YouTube stuff on there already. So
yeah.
And on top of that, right after they left, on like I guess you could say like the normie side of YouTube, I was actually about to bring this up too. They've been going crazy about Corey Kenshin, and this I haven't watched him before, but I noticed him because of this video that kind of blew up and it was trending. And he was talking about how YouTube was like playing favorites and possibly racism and all that stuff. And normally I'm like, whatever, but he brought up some stuff that I've heard about for a while now, and basically a lot of big YouTubers are hopping on this right now. They're all making videos about the same thing, just kind of calling out like the terms of service and how it's unfair, and they play favorites and yada yada. So it's kind of got me thinking like, okay, not only is Rumble a possible move, but what else is there? I was actually looking at another one called Odyssey. I'm probably still going to stay on YouTube, but I'm definitely going to be uploading everything I put on YouTube is going to be put on other platforms like that. Because, yeah, this shit's kind of like, people are like saying fuck YouTube basically. And it's honestly, it's owned by Google. Like, I mean, I don't even like the company that much. You know what I mean? So,
yeah, it's just crazy because it's like the world is changing right before our eyes, and it's kind of all because of this guy. It all started with this guy who I didn't know about 8 weeks ago. I thought it was 12. It's 8. It's like 2 months, bro.
yeah.
I watched his last, the last time he talked to Aiden Ross, and he told him it would be the last time. He was like, I'm not like you, bro. I don't have time to sit on Twitch and talk to Twitch streamers and play your stupid little video games. I live in the real world. You know? He's like, you're fucking... He's like, I don't know what to tell you. You're a kid. How many times have you been to the gym this week? Fucking 0. That's what I thought. He's like, I've got shit to do. You know? And that shit was just wild to me because it's like he obviously used that guy for so much content. But at the end of the day, he's got shit to do. He's like a real person.
Yeah, he doesn't feel like being on the internet all day.
I mean, yeah, he's just like, regardless of what, how much money I made off of this, like I have a life. And I think a lot of people are just dedicating, so much time to not creating anything, just watching content.
Yeah, that's for sure. That's kind of where I was for so long, just watching a lot of YouTube, and then I was like, man, I watched so much of it. You might as well just start making some of it. I mean, especially because this is just what other people tell me. I'm like, they're like, yo, man, you do a lot of you have a lot of hobbies. You can talk about really interesting things. Like you talk a lot, but everyone likes to listen to you. I'm like, man, why don't I just make some fucking content? Like everyone else is telling me that they would watch me. So it's like, why don't I actually do it? Every time I play video games with unnamed people in the room, they're like, bro, you could be a commentator. Like you're fucking hilarious. You're just wild as shit or saying some dumb shit. I'm like, yeah, if that's all it takes, bro, just fucking do it. I mean, it's kind of a no-brainer. Yeah, I mean, I agree though. I think some and people like Sneeko, I think, are great because he's actually telling people the exact same thing and also making what do you call it? Yeah, that creativity kit. It's like a course basically. Stuff like that I think is helpful, and it also is a good way to support somebody if you do support them and you're getting some value back.
It is, and it's obviously a really good way for people to make money.
And that's what I always tell people. I'm like, hey, look, if you're gonna buy a course, understand that like they're definitely doing it to make money. So keep that in mind. Like even if it's not the best course in the world, it's probably because they're just trying to make some money. But um, yeah, no, but still, like at least the way I look at it, I think it was Andrew Tate who actually said this. He was like, hey, at least it's a course where like they're not just buying. I don't know if it was him, but anyway, someone was saying like at least they're buying a course where I give them some information instead of them just donating to my Patreon or something where they get nothing in return except for the free content that's already there. At least they get
Yep,
something out of it.
absolutely. I see you got the mic hanging.
It's yeah, dude. Finally, do I sound better?
Yeah, absolutely.
It's amazing.
Yeah, and you don't have to move it or pick it up or touch it ever.
You might see me fiddle with it, but I'm getting kind of used to just where I want it. But yeah, this thing is nice, man.
It sounds really good.
That's awesome. Yeah, it makes a huge difference. And
Absolutely.
dude, I have so many OBS features now. Like, I'm gonna show you my screen. I want you to look at it. Let's see, OBS. So you see this at the bottom?
Uh, hold on. Let me make it like bigger. Where? Which bottom? Left or right?
Left or right?
You're
Oh,
sharing your whole screen. So
I was just talking about like the audio mixer.
I just see like Discord full screen.
Hmm.
My
Let's
face, your face.
let me change the window. OBS. Ah, screen one, screen two. Interesting. Screen two. We'll just do that.
Aha. Yeah.
I guess two monitors is a little different. So this audio mixer, it now I can separate every single. So you know how before it's like desktop and it just everything that's playing is playing through this one channel. I can
Yep.
separate it now with Discord, the browser, my music from my music player. I was playing Roblox the other day. Here,
You like
Discord, all that shit. The game itself it's on its own channel, and you can basically mix everything separately, which is like a huge game changer. Um,
damn.
Actually, I'm just gonna go ahead and give that to you right now,
Yeah.
and let me pull it up. What is it called? It's called the OBS. Fuck! How the hell that?
Oh.
I don't remember what it was called. Fuck. OBS. No. Oh wait, let me just go to my downloads. Duh. But yeah. Anyway, I'm starting to use other platforms, bro. I'm definitely on Rumble now. I'm gonna put a lot of my personal stuff on there. I actually even suggest we start putting The Big Bang Theory on there. Um, and
Yeah. I mean, I'm completely committed to uploading everything on both on like every.
yeah, I was
It's like
I was
in
thinking
the
we
event.
try all three of them: Rumble, Odyssey, and YouTube. Because it's not hard. I mean, you just throw them up. Like let the
Yeah.
computer do the work.
In the event that one gets taken down or whatever.
Exactly.
You
Yeah.
know.
Where the fuck is this shit?
Too much breathing. Too much breathing. Okay. So.
Oh, you can hear my breathing?
No, we were just not talking. Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So I went back to work yesterday. That shit sucked. I had to work all fucking day because these people are fucked. My boss just has congestive heart failure because he's fucking 500 pounds. And my other coworker, his entire family has COVID, and his wife was like puking blood.
Damn.
So, but it's not because she had COVID. It's because she coughed so much that she popped a blood vessel, and then she was like bleeding. You know.
Damn. Yeah, that sounds pretty bad.
So don't get it mixed up. It's she wasn't bleeding. Her lungs weren't bleeding from the severity of COVID. She's fine. She just coughed a lot, and the coughing led her to pop a blood vessel. But she was not she's like not dying from COVID. But yeah, his kids have it too. So he was out yesterday and it was just me and my other coworker, and so I was there all fucking day and it was horrible. Because I didn't plan on being there all day. So I stayed up kind of late on Sunday running the tournament and the melee tournament. I was up till like 2 a.m.
God damn, yeah, that's a long day.
and then I got up at 8:30 and had to work till 7:30. And then I went to bed last night and had to work this morning at 8:30. But I'm off tomorrow, god damn it.
Hey, bet.
And I will not be setting foot into a workspace
Except my own.
except my own. Yeah, absolutely. I do have to cut my grass at like 5 a.m. though.
I went to an interview yesterday.
For
Yeah, a moving company.
mm,
They do like personal homes, like furniture and stuff, and then they also do businesses, even like single items like antiques or big items that someone can't move. I'm definitely not gonna get that job
yeah.
because just the way that the lady looked at me, she's like, only 2 days a week. She's like, I could just tell she was like, we need someone who's gonna be here all the time. I was like, it said
Only-
part time on your website, but I mean, hey, I guess that's why I'm here to find out.
They all say part time. That's the
A
funny
lot of
thing.
them do, but then they're like, "Can you work 39 hours?" I'm like, "What the fuck?" I'm like, okay. I mean, I get it.
39.5.
We need someone who's full time, but without all the benefits.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. That's how service works too.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I mean, they're just like they don't let you work 40 hours because then you get all these benefits. So they'll just give you like a 38-hour schedule,
Yeah.
and you're like, what the fuck?
Cut you early.
Cut you early, make you stay late on the weekends.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
It's really fucked up. Yeah, but
Yep.
you make hella money. You make
But they do make
75
hella
grand a
money.
year.
Actually, so another person called me today for a wine bar. That's not too far away, and I'm still kind of thinking about it.
That's not a bad idea.
But well, the thing is, the position was, and I didn't even remember that I applied for this, was busser and dishwasher. I'm like, the pay was
that's a
like,
bad idea.
yeah, the pay was max 15. I was like, nah,
No.
nah.
No, 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 no,
I've
no,
seen
no.
dishwashers get paid actually more than that. So
Oh yeah,
nah.
I've seen busboys make $100 a day.
Yeah, if you go to a nice place, yeah. So I'm like, this place might not be all that. So I'm not gonna go there. But I don't know, man. I think I might just not get the second job. I'm not gonna get paid a lot at this one that I'm at now, but it's extremely easy. Like this job is stupid easy, and I get really short shifts, like 6-hour shifts, and 3 days a week. And I'm not gonna lie, I'm barely getting paid, but like I can just make it. I think that's just enough, like to drive me to just go harder. You know what I mean? And just
Yeah, absolutely.
get my money.
Yeah, and I came back this week, and I mean, I'm kind of my job's not difficult at all. So like, but
Yeah.
it's about to get harder because the holidays are coming up. Football starts this weekend, actually, which is fucked. The first Alabama and Auburn games are this weekend. I didn't even realize that, so I'm just gonna get fucking slammed. But then yeah, after that, it's just every fucking holiday, all year long.
Yeah.
And
for the
like
rest of the
where I
year.
work, we do like whole roasts for people, and we cater Thanksgiving turkeys and fucking sides and shit. And I have to make like 100 like pans of shit that feeds like 50 people. Like it's just gonna be a fun time. But I get paid so much money during the holidays. I'm gonna use this holiday money because we always get like fat ass fucking bonuses during the holiday, like $500-$600 fucking bonuses on our checks.
Oh yeah.
And I'm gonna use all this fucking money that I get paid during the holidays. And then my boss always gives me a Christmas present at the end of the year, and it's usually like an extra $300 cash, just as like a thank you for working so hard during this awful, awful time.
Yeah.
Last year I did like over 200 standing rib roasts. We smoked like over 100 turkeys for Thanksgiving in 3 days. Like I'm talking like dumb, like this one guy wanted to give prime rib bone in to all of his 65 employees. I don't know if you've ever seen a bone in prime rib.
I've never have.
It's huge. It's like the size of a fucking, like, I don't know how to explain it. Like, I guess I can just pull up one. But yeah, he wanted to do 65 of them for his entire company. So he called us and he was like, "Hey, can you guys do this?" And I was like, "There's no way." But my owner, he wanted that money. It was like $5,000, bro.
Yeah, yeah, they're gonna make it happen.
And so but it's only 5 of us, and we just stood there and slaved over 65 of these for hours. Hours. My back hurts so bad. Like, I wanted to die. I want to get one that has like a scale so you can understand like how large I'm talking, but this is a good picture of one. Just
Okay.
imagine it's like the size, it's like, probably a foot long and like 6 inches wide, about, yeah, about 12 inches long, 6 inches wide,
That's pretty fucking big.
big a piece of meat. And you have to cut the hinge. So you take the bone up against the bone right here and you hinge it all the way down on like the whole thing, so where it like flaps open, and then you tie it back. So like here I saw one, damn, that was tied. Yeah. So yeah, after you hinge it, you tie it back in between the bones, and then you roast it off, and it comes out like this beautiful piece of meat right here.
Man,
Well, this is
that's a lot of fucking work.
a better picture.
It does look juicy.
Yeah, it's pretty good. Close
Oh
up.
shit.
What the fuck?
Yeah.
That's the good part right there.
Yeah.
But yeah, basically, I had to do a lot of those, and I'm gonna have to do them again because he was like, "I can't wait to do this next year," and I was like, "Okay."
Oh. I'll come back again.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah, exactly.
please do,
Please
sir.
don't. But like you said the other day, you just can't turn down money.
Yeah,
You
I
just gotta
mean,
give them what they want.
now I understand.
You're like, "You don't need that." Yeah, yeah, you do.
Yeah, you do, so you can tell other people about it, so that we can remind you to tell other people about it, so that they can get it too. Like, yeah, bro, I made a big mistake, but I learned at least now I know why that doesn't work, and I know what it could have led to, and I understand about the whole situation now. I understand why business is the way it is. I'd never turn down business. It doesn't matter if they need it or don't. I mean, now if you're screwing somebody over with like a loan, and even then, like, I mean, maybe I wouldn't do it. That's an ethical thing, but like a bank is gonna give someone a loan that they might not be able to keep, and like, or some people might like a dealership might give somebody a loan whether the fuck or not they can pay it. And like, it's not their
Yeah.
problem. It's like the bank's problem, and like so certain businesses don't give a shit. But I guess like for me, I'm not gonna like. But I'm never. I don't think for my products that I sell, no, bro, there's no reason to not accept somebody if they want to buy a website or if they want to get some music. There's no reason for me to tell somebody, nah, you don't need this. Like, who gives a fuck
Well,
if they do? Like, what?
nobody needs anything,
You-
so
right. Like, when do I need
that's
cereal? Nobody needs
exactly.
cereal, and yet we buy
Yeah,
it all the time.
yeah.
And there's no one
And
at the
it's like,
grocery store saying,
mhm,
you could cut back on your calories. Like, no one's saying that. Like,
yeah.
so I made a big mistake, and something like your boss, like he heard that, he was probably like, "Holy fuck, it's a lot of work. I don't know if we can
Yeah,
do it."
it's Mr. Krabs.
Yeah, money, money, money.
It's like cha-ching,
That's like my
eyes.
favorite character in anything ever. Like that's the greatest. He's the greatest.
I smell money.
Dude, he is the best. And yeah, that's just what it is, man. And it's also more than like because yeah, that one money feels or that one transaction feels good, like that $5,000 he had that huge, payout. But then that guy tells other people. That's the biggest thing. It's like and he's gonna come back again. It's like if he would have said no, sorry, we can't take it, that guy would have never came back ever. Like he would have never came back. At least not for something like that. Especially that. Like, no way.
Yep.
He's gonna be like, well, I'll
No.
find someone else,
Hey,
and then the person who does it, he's gonna come back to them. You
absolutely.
lose your customer
And
forever.
and all the people who got those rib roasts now know. Like the 65 people that got the meat now know
Yeah,
like where
yeah.
the meat came from because we put like
That's
our stickers on it and shit. So it's like,
that's
yeah,
huge.
it's a huge marketing, yeah. And like, we were right across the street from WZZK, has a large radio show attached to it. I won't say the name of said radio show, but it's huge. And one of the guys that co-hosts that morning talk show comes in the store all the time and gets sandwiches from us, buys meat from us. He lives in Indian Springs, like down the street from where I used to live, like over
Oh
in the
yeah, I
Oakland
know you're talking
area.
about.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, like just down. Like I could have walked to his house. I knew exactly where he lived, and he comes in the store all the time. It's a funny. My mom and I used to sing jingles for the radio because we knew this guy at church who was like huge into it, and actually recorded a couple for his show. And I was like, 8 or 9 years old, and they played them on the show all the time, like their holiday jingles, and they played them, like recycled them. And he came in the store the other day, and I've known this forever, and I've never said anything to him about it, but we've like gotten a good rapport between us. And I was like, hey man, you know those songs? Like I named the two songs, and he was like, oh yeah, we still play those, are classics. And I was like, yeah, that's me singing. And he was like, what? And I was like, yeah, bro.
Where's my royalty?
Exactly.
You owe me,
No, no, no.
fucker.
I got paid for those when I was a kid, and they paid me like, $50, and I thought I was like a fucking,
Rock
I thought I
star.
was
Yeah.
top G.
Hell yeah.
I'm going to buy a Bugatti. No. I just bought video games. Like a
Brewsters.
dummy. Yeah, but yeah, it's crazy though because he talks about the shop all the time on his show.
Wow, that's great.
Yeah, and we get like huge marketing from it. My boss is like, yeah, I don't even have to spend money on marketing anymore because that guy just gives us free shout outs on the radio. Not that anyone listens to the radio anymore, but
But it works.
some people do. And
Yeah.
his show is also on Spotify, so you can listen to it. Like,
Good point. Yeah,
even if you don't listen to
it's
radio.
definitely a thing. I mean, it's like word of mouth is still a thing. I mean, I obviously still think internet
It's the biggest
advertising.
thing.
I mean, yeah, because it's like it's the most trustworthy. It's someone that you
Yeah.
know telling you about this thing. At the
And the
grocery
internet
store,
has algorithms.
right? And yeah, the algorithm sometimes can not play in your favor. I mean, everything we just talked about with YouTube is sometimes it's pretty faulty, and they pick favorites, and you don't even get to show your shit.
Yeah, but
So,
especially with ads, like ads are super marketed. So like if you
yeah,
don't
yeah.
if you don't like if you're not talking about it or like somebody hasn't told you about it, then like you're probably not going to see an ad for it. Because your phone is definitely listening to you. So like that's just how it works.
Like reading my
And
thoughts, bro. I swear,
bro,
like
it's so bad. Like sometimes it feels like that.
Yeah.
Because I'll just be thinking about something and it'll just pop right up, and I'm like,
how?
fuck me.
I never even said it. Like I've never even
They're in
said
my
the word.
mind. They're in my mind. And that's fine. I can't stop them. So if they're in that deep, then like fuck, dude. We
Some-
really are in the matrix. Like
Some
it's
guy
over.
I was working with today, he was training me. And he was like, "So do you think of it?" He's actually like really he's actually very political and he likes to talk about like interesting things, I guess. And he was like, "Do you think eventually we're gonna go into like all virtual reality?" I told him I was like, "You know what, man? Only if it can
No.
get better than life." And
Yeah.
then if you can convince people that it's better than life. And then he was like, man, actually, David, when you put it like that, that's kind of scary because everyone's already on their phone all day. I was like, yeah, bro, like it's not that hard to convince people. If it gets any better,
Yeah.
people are just gonna be like,
Hey, I will say, virtual PMO, kind of fucked. That's all I'm gonna say about it. That
they're
it's
all over me.
yeah, it's kind of fucked up, especially like the POV stuff. It's just
Yeah.
like, what? Excuse me.
Is it actually like? Does it feel like?
I mean,
you're in
yeah,
the room.
it's 360
That's
you
pretty
know.
crazy.
full immersion. I mean, you have a headset on and you're like obviously
Right.
not like being actually touched or anything, but like yeah, it's close up 360, and they make like content specifically designed for it,
Right.
So it's like
Think about
oh
all the
god
people
damn.
who are like. The way I think about it is, when it comes to virtual reality, it's really just a matter of people who aren't happy with their lives are gonna be the first ones to, and a lot of people aren't. People who are maybe obese and they've always wanted to be a football player, they're just gonna be like, I'm just gonna
Yeah.
do it in
And
virtual reality.
it's actually worse than that. It's like people who are disabled, people who were able-bodied, who became disabled due to injury, due to accidents, stuff like that. They're the ones who are really getting sucked into this kind of stuff because they can run. You know what I mean? In VR. They can like move their arms and legs. They
Yeah.
can walk around and like do shit and be like a hero or just like chill and play a Beat Saber or whatever. You know? which is something they can't actually do in real life. And I mean, I think that's a big part of it too, is like VR, and I mean, even video games allow you to experience things that you can't physically do in real life.
Yeah.
And that's why they're so fun, because it's like, well, I could never do this, but I could do it in the game, you know? And
There's
that's enough for me.
there's a YouTuber that I actually started watching. Her name's Iron Mouse,
Oh.
and it's actually the person who got me to start doing that VTuber thing where I didn't really take it that seriously. I was kind of just messing around with it, but it's like
Oh,
that
but the avatar?
the little avatar basically, and they actually, from what I heard, haven't seen any proof, but everyone like knows it, and some of the people that know them personally like attested to it. But basically, they have like an autoimmune disease where they really just can't leave their house, and they're pretty kind of frail and weak, and they're just like, well, I can't travel, so I play video games all day, but they never shown their face before. So like as far as how they look is very completely like just completely anonymous. But they've grown a huge following, and one of the things that people saw that I saw recently was this other giant YouTuber was like, "Hey, you can like join me on my trip to Japan. I'm gonna live stream it, and we can both live stream together, basically. And you can kind of like, travel through Japan with me with my, as my camera, basically. Kind of just she's getting that experience. That's the kind of stuff that I'm thinking of. Like those people who just can't do stuff, they're gonna be the very first ones to be like, okay, I'm just gonna go for the virtual world because the real world is gonna kill me
Absolutely.
in some
Yeah,
way,
and yeah, and I mean it can be something as simple as like you want to be, a fighter, but you're like too pussy,
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
and like you can just like VR box, you know. It's like, okay, well that's cool. I don't have to hurt. I don't get punched in the face.
Yeah,
You still have to, you still get the workout. You still get the cardio. The game like tracks the force of your punches and stuff. So you still have to swing like you're trying to hit someone. It's not like you just like push a button and they go down
right.
or whatever.
Yeah.
Um, but at the same time, it's just like not real. It's not real. It's
So you know
virtual.
what? That brings up a conversation then that's a little bit deeper. I mean, and I don't have really a stance because I don't think it even needs one. But what is real, and is it better or worse? I guess is an opinion thing. Is real life better or is virtual life worse? What do you think?
Well,
Do you think it matters?
Um, so I think there's only one reality. And it's the same, like Matt Walsh says, the same reality that says like you and I are sitting here talking
Yeah.
right now, like the one that says like there's a couch behind you. And there's a couch behind you, right? Yeah.
What couch?
Fuck. My argument. But yeah, it's just this is a screen actually.
Yo, man, all green screen at someone else's house.
Just pull it down.
It's nothing but like stars behind me. Like, what
Yeah,
the fuck?
But yeah, no, I mean, I think objectively virtual reality is better than real life, but that's just because it can be manufactured,
Yeah, I guess.
right?
Yeah, yeah.
Like it's just because you can make it better, and what is better is subjective as well. So it's like, but I guess the reason why is because like it's so easy to make a virtual reality that like for everyone. Like there is a part of VR where everyone can like have fun or like that will feel better than real life. And I mean, I've played some VR games that like sucked me in. Like I felt like I was like inside whatever I was like playing Half-Life Alyx, which is probably the best VR game like out. It kind of ruined VR for me because after I played it, I just like playing other games. I was just like, well,
Damn.
it's not that good.
Hell
Like,
yeah.
yeah, it's that good. Like you feel like
What is that game
it's like,
about? I've never heard of it.
well, I mean, you never played Half-Life?
No.
Yeah, it's just like a
Like a shooter, right?
futuristic. It's a futuristic FPS like post-apocalyptic shooter. Yeah,
Mm,
but it's story driven. It's single player, story driven. But most people really enjoy the game because of the physics. You know, because like Half-Life had a really cool physics system. It was like one of the first games to have like really good ragdoll mechanics. And like, yeah, it's really good. And the atmosphere is like really, it's post-apocalyptic and there's aliens and there's like yeah, it's really cool. It's a really cool game. I'm not gonna go into like the whole story because it's very complicated and convoluted. But yeah, it basically it's a first person post apocalyptic single player story driven shooter.
And that
and
basically showed you that
and
VR is
but
OP.
but but in VR, it's that except like you control like you just have hands, right? Because like you only have two hand controllers, but you can use the hand controllers to move, and then like everything else is like motion controlled, like loading and unloading weapons, and like pulling out grenades and chunking them, and like all that stuff is like you're actually moving your hands. It's not like pushing buttons.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it just feels like you're actually like going around like capping these fucking aliens and like fighting these hordes, and you're just like and like I mean I played the game for like probably 30 hours, like just like blinked, and it just like consumed me. I was like, holy shit. And like but the whole time I was like in VR, you
Hell
know?
yeah.
And that was crazy to me because I was like I had played other games and they felt good, super fun. Obviously Beat Saber is like amazing. I think that game's amazing. Um just for like it being like one of the first VR games and to still be just like one of the best is obvious. It's like Angry Birds, it's just like a really good game. Like always was. Like Tiny Wings.
Well, once they make some sort of sim like GTA like VR shit, that's gonna
Yeah.
be OP.
I mean, the only
VR
games, the
chat's
only
already big.
yeah, VR chat's huge, but it's so whack. Like, have you ever seen it? It just like it looks so shit. Like, it's
I've
really
never played it, but I have seen it. But I've seen like compilations of like funny stuff that happens in it. But I've never actually like really
yeah,
played it.
but you've seen the models and like the way it looks. It's
Yeah.
just very
Well, it's
like
kind of like the part. That's kind of like the point of it, though. It's supposed to be like just stupid and silly. I kind of like that part of it, but I mean, I've never played it, so I
but
can't
like you
say
said,
anything.
it's not like a GTA Sims.
Right? That would
Yeah,
be OP. Like people would get on that all day. I'm not
yeah.
gonna
And
lie, I probably would too.
the only games that I've played that have graphics that good are that game, Half-Life Alyx, Walking Dead Saints and Sinners is really good. If you like The Walking Dead and you like VR, then you should play that game because it will keep you up at night. It's pretty terrifying.
Damn, hell yeah. Horror
Not
games would
because,
be
but
a hit.
it's not because it's not like a jump scare game. It's just
Nice.
horrifying because like
Helpless, right?
you feel like what it would be like if like everyone was a zombie, and if like people die, they turn into zombies. So like you can do whatever you want in the game. You can just like walk up to NPCs and kill them, right? But they're gonna turn. And you're gonna get up and they're gonna fucking chase you.
Yeah.
And you'll just like walk into a house and there's like six zombies and you've got like a knife and three bullets. And you're like, well, shit. And you start running because you have to stab the zombie. You have to stab the zombies in the head, and they're chasing you and they're trying to bite you. And you can like grab their head and hold them there, like hold them off and like stab them with your hand. But like the whole time they're like snarling and trying to bite you and shit. And like if one sneaks up on you and bites you, you're just dead. So like it's like one bite and you're dead because it's the walk. That's how it is. And it's really good, really terrifying. Super good game. Um, what else did I play that was fun? Um, Swarm. A lot of people haven't played that game. It's like a Spider-Man grappling hook game where it's like Galaga mixed with Spider-Man. You
Hmm.
have like two pistols, but they're grappling hooks as well, and you can like shoot these targets and you grapple to them, and then these like Galaga ships spawn and you just like mow them down for points. But it's just super fun because the whole time you're just like swinging through the air like fucking Spider-Man in VR. So you're just like whoa, you feel
Yeah,
so
that would be
so
really
cool.
cool. I used to play a lot of the Spider-Man games back in the day.
Yeah.
They were fun.
Yeah, that game's amazing. What's Till You Fall is it's like a Dark Soul, like a roguelite, like you progress through the level. If you die, you start back at the beginning, but you get like stronger progressively. But it's like in VR and it's like medieval themed, and you have to like move your body to like dodge attacks and like strike in specific ways to break through their guard. It's super fun. Um, Very good game, very good graphics. But in reality, there's really not a lot of good VR games
Yeah,
because
I feel like it's still kind of upcoming.
yeah, it's relatively new. Even though it's been out for like 5 years, it's still
Yeah.
just like it's hard to develop a game that feels good and looks good without like a super massive budget. Like Half-Life Alyx is made by Valve,
Yeah.
and if you don't know who Valve is, then you're living under a rock. So, and like
Yeah.
all
It
those
would take a
other
lot of
games.
it would take a lot of work, a lot of different people, and I can imagine the programming it would take just to make such a
Yeah,
giant VR
the
game.
motion controls is like the big thing, and the hand tracking. Like a lot of games are trying to get on this where you don't even have to use the controllers, where you
Yeah.
like the cameras on the VR headset just like track your hands, so you could actually like pick stuff up with your hands in the game.
Whew, that would be insane.
The Oculus is already like pretty advanced on that stuff. Like in like when you first buy an Oculus, there's like an Oculus tutorial it walks you through, and like the very last section it talks about how hand tracking is like an upcoming feature and they haven't really mastered it yet. But it lets you go through like a little hand tracking demo and it just tells you to like put the controllers down. It puts all these like little geometric shapes in front of you and like a ping pong paddle, and you can pick it all up like with your actual hands, not with the controllers, and like use it in VR like you would outside the game. Like you can like throw the blocks, like put them in like the holes, play with the ping pong paddle, like hit the ball. It's like so crazy. I was just like, this is next level, man.
Yeah. The future.
But also the VR headsets are very sensitive. You can't take them outside because the sunlight will just like destroy the fucking cameras. But at the same time, you have to have like really good lighting. Also, it takes a massive amount of battery and processing power to like run the head. Like the Oculus not plugged in, no battery pack, max life like an hour and a half, 2 hours,
Yeah, that's
depending on
not a
what you
lot. Yeah, I
depending
figured
on
it'd be
what.
longer.
And I mean that's not a bad thing
Right.
because like you don't want to be in. I mean some of you do want to be in the Matrix for 8 hours, but most people 2 hours is plenty before they need to take the headset off and go outside and get some air. And I mean it's not the most comfortable thing in the world. Now my VR headset, I've made a lot of upgrades to it. I like invested a bunch into it because I was like, if I'm gonna use this thing, I'm gonna be comfortable. I'm not just gonna have a fucking like 5-pound computer strapped to my face, squeezing my brain while I'm like working out basically. Because yeah, bro, I've sweat playing VR like hard
Really?
sweat.
So it's I mean you have to move your body, so yeah, it makes sense.
Hard sweat, bro. Dripping. Like when I'm boxing in VR, bro, I mean, I feel like I'm in the ring. Like I have to take that whole minute. Like cuz you get like 3-minute round and then a minute break, you know? I have to take that whole minute to like compose myself cuz you can like force continue like the fight. But no, I have to sit there for like a whole 60 seconds and breathe, drink water. Sometimes I get an ice pack. I'm like, damn. And I'm not even getting hit, you know? I've sweat super hard. And you just yeah. I think VR can be a great thing. I just think people need to know that like you don't need to plug up to it for 8 hours a day and fucking play that shit until you fall asleep with your VR headset on watching YouTube video. Like that's not that's not good for you. It's not good for your eyes. It's not good for your brain. It's not good for you mentally because you're gonna stop associating with the real world. You're just gonna be like, can't wait to get home and plug into my VR headset.
Yeah.
And then we're living in like Sword Art Online, you know?
Yep. I was just thinking of that. I was just
Like
thinking about that.
everyone's got a fucking atmosphere, microwaving their brain, nerve gear.
I haven't seen that in so long. I actually
Oh,
played some
man.
trivia the other day.
First season of Sword Art Online is brilliant.
The first season.
Yeah,
And then the fairies came out, and I was like, "What is going on?"
Yeah, it gets so much worse.
I stopped
too.
watching after the fairies
The
came out.
very first season is brilliant, though. They could
Yeah.
have just left it alone.
I think they could have left it alone. So many
It
things
is
are like that.
amazing. It is so good, dude. That whole concept was just so fucked.
Yeah.
You know, it was just like you're all in the game now. If you die, you're dead. And you're like, they're like, no way. People were like fucking jumping off. You remember that shit?
Yeah.
After he like announced that like they couldn't get out, and if they died, they would die. People were just like killing themselves to try to log out of the game. You know, just like jumping off the side of the like map, like self-destructing, and like those people were literally dying in real time. It's like so crazy to think about. It's like, damn, every person that just like jumped because they were like, oh, he's fucking with us. We can just kill ourselves and we'll log out. All those people just died, like legitimately died, and like, and then yeah, like just imagine in a video game like how many people are noobs, you know, like how many people will just like go into the video game and die to like the first thing they see. You know, how many girls are playing that game that are just like, well, how do I move? You know, and then they just get fucked and they're dead. Like that concept, I was just thinking, I was like, oh my god, because I play video games. I think the final death count in that show was like, it was like over 500 people or something. I don't know. Don't quote me on that, but it's like, it's so many people just died. And there only like a few people were like fighting on the front lines. Like everyone else had kind of just like resigned themselves to living in the world. Like no, like a lot of people just gave up on trying to beat the game. You know, they were just like, well, we'll just chill on like whatever floor and build our house, and eventually somebody will beat the game and we'll get out of here. But for now, I'm just chilling in VR. Like, but yeah, that first season's brilliant. If you haven't seen an anime, it's really good. The first season. Um, I watched this anime, this crazy anime called Kageguri. It's Kakeguri. I don't know. It's a gambling anime though.
Oh, I bet you love that shit. I bet it was
That
dope.
shit was so dope, bro. But they just came out with the second season on Netflix, so I'm about to start watching it again.
I'm gonna start watching it too. I'll see if I
Watch the
can.
first season, bro. You'll be like, what the fuck? Because they all go to this fucking school, but it's like a school for gambling.
Don't they die and shit or they kill each other? I don't know. Don't spoil it. I think
won't
I
spoil
saw
it, but
something
yeah,
about it.
basically they just go to this gambling school, but like there's a social credit system based on gambling, and it's so nuts.
Why does every fucking anime have to be in a school? Like, oh
'Cause
wait,
they love.
kids watch anime. That's why.
You got so quiet. Why'd you get so quiet?
Oh really?
Yeah.
Uh,
No,
I
that's.
what?
I didn't turn you down. That's so weird. You got so. I actually have you turned up.
I didn't change any settings at all.
What the fuck? You sound like you're underwater.
Hello, hello, hello.
Yeah, it just sounds like you're super muted. Am I quieter?
No, you sound normal.
Yeah. I don't know. I wish I could like share the audio. But
Maybe it's a Discord thing because on OBS I look pretty much normal. I'm gonna leave and come right back.
yeah.
All right, how's that?
No, you're still. I don't know what the fuck just happened. It's like you were fine, and then it just like it sounded like your mic just like limited itself super hard, and it's still doing it like to the point where it's like, yeah, you sound like I don't know how to explain it. Like you're just muted almost. Like you turned your mic volume down.
I don't know. Yeah, OBS is picking me up pretty well. I don't want to turn it up because then it's gonna be too loud for the recording.
Yeah,
So
and
I don't know.
you're kind of cutting out too. I don't know what just happened, dude. Well, let me leave and come right back. How about that?
All right. Technical difficulties.
What the fuck?
Hello, hello, hello.
It's just so quiet. It
Maybe,
literally sounds like you're underwater.
maybe your computer's dying. uh,
I just turned you all the way up too, and it's still. It's like, what the fuck? I just don't know if it's on my end or yours. I don't know. Hold on. Uh, maybe.
direct monitoring. Hello, hello, direct monitoring.
Maybe it's
Hello,
because
hello, hello, hello.
you can still hear me, right?
Yeah, I can hear you.
I just don't know.
Yeah, I'm pretty loud right now. I actually turned myself up a little bit. I think I'm too loud now.
Yeah. I don't know. It just sounded so much. Say something?
Hello.
Okay, I think I fixed it. That was weird. I don't know what was going on. It was like OBS was limiting you.
That is kind of strange.
I
Oh,
don't.
do you have the limiters on your yeah, you might have limiter on like the browser or desktop, I mean.
Yeah, that could be it.
And
Cause
yeah, I recommend taking all filters off of the desktop for now. Or if anything, we could just use my end. You don't even have to record, bro. Like remember like how I even have like way more space. Like just let me record and I'll later once we're done recording, I'll show you how to do all the stuff that so that you can even if you do want to record, you can do it like separately each channel and all that shit.
yeah,
I stopped using filters basically. The only filters I use are on my mic, on my personal mic. Everything else is just basically I kind of leave it alone.
yeah. What the fuck were we talking about? Sorry, that was crazy.
It's all good. Actually, I have something to bring up that's pretty funny. I'm gonna show you something. So I was looking for I was looking for decentralized YouTube alternatives.
Mm-hmm.
Because I'm hearing all this shit about YouTube, and then plus the Andrew Tate thing, and then Alex Jones, and I mean a bunch of other people that I've been watching just get destroyed over time, and like they're just censoring people left and right, and it's owned by China. And I'm like, okay, what can we do about this? Because I'm tired of just like sitting around waiting. And so we're obviously using other platforms, and we're gonna start using like Rumble and other things and Odyssey. I found this thing called DTube, and from what now I'm just on a Reddit post talking about it, and basically this guy was saying, so like I'm looking for a decentralized YouTube. I'll share my screen actually, just so you can see it. And he's like, how far are we realistically from that? He's like, more increasingly over the years, I hear about the YouTubers getting their accounts banned or demonetized without reason and without recourse. This is a real world problem, opportunity, I mean, for blockchain to flex its muscle. I know we are a bit far away on the scaling side, but what about the decentralized storage and bandwidth side? And the first guy was like, a few of my favorite channels have just disappeared. I hope they reset up their shop on a decentralized YouTube like DTube. And I was like, oh, I've never heard of that before.
But it
So
exists.
it does exist. Um, so this guy says DTube is an option. So when I went on here, oh, does it not show you this? But can you see when I change the?
Yeah, I can see it.
Okay. And I found, I went on DTube and I found this guy. But before that, I'll show you this. I don't know why I think it's funny that I found that dude because of his title, but it actually does look like YouTube.
Is this just? It's okay. So it is an alternative platform.
Yeah, and then I saw this money up here. I was like, "What is this?" This is the price of DTube. It says DTube coin is the native currency of the blockchain layer of DTube. DTube's generate voting power (VP) for influencing. DTube's generate voting power for influencing video rankings, bandwidth for transacting on the blockchain, and represent your stake in the DTube DAO. I don't really know what that means, but the thing. So that's just so I guess that's just the so basically this is runs off of the blockchain. That's kind of what I'm learning, and it looks just like YouTube. I mean, it looks like
Yeah.
YouTube.
It does. They have the same like layout.
Yeah, so I'm kind
The
of like
same HUD.
I'm kind
everything.
of like maybe this could be an option, but then the funny thing is, while I was looking at it, I found this guy. Before starting any work, do not think whether I will be able to do it. I read his thing. Well, I was like, why does it sound like me? He goes, he said, there are many people around me who think more before starting any work, like whether they will be able to do this work or not. I think such negative thinking becomes the reason they will not be able to really do that work. I think before starting any work, we should not think about it, especially about the result. I'm like, whoa, who is this woke? And like, then I went to his channel. And then look at his thumbnails. I was like, this is all he does. Like,
I am alive.
I am alive. Every thumbnail is the same, and they all have like one view. I'm like, how is he not blown up by now? YouTube
That's
is
a lot.
racist.
Jesus.
They're all the same. Look at this. It doesn't stop. But then that was the last thing he posted 11 hours ago. Now I want to react to it.
Yeah, let's watch it.
Hi guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. Hope you all are good and doing well. This is Cruz and this is my daily vlog. I'm a live challenge video. Here I am once again with my YouTube video, and I think this is as I told you before that before uploading on YouTube website, I am upload my video on YouTube. So in this way, this is my 363rd video. So coming next
360.
2 days,
Oh,
and
in
I will complete my 1 year on YouTube. So I am very excited about this. So in
oh
this video, I'm talking about that sometimes people are overthinking when they are trying to start anything which they want to do. Sometimes people are thinking that I think will they able to complete this, or can they do that uh, do that work which
OP.
they are going to start. So I think before starting anything which you want to go like preparation or study preparation or any work which you want to go now doing. So before starting, you can't think uh, more about this. You go and start them, and but sometimes people are overthinking. Like some people are, I think. This is, I think, negative thinking for themselves, because if you think negative themselves, so it will be definitely happen with
What?
you.
I don't know. Okay, I gotta give this guy some props. He's speaking in probably like not his first language, and now it makes sense. Now it makes. I guess that I'm assuming that challenge is like really all about posting like every day for a year. I guess. Um, but it's crazy to see like he has not gotten any views like at all. Like that's kind of wild. Like for every
Yep.
day for a year or something like that. If it's not every day, but it's like I shit 300 and something. Like that's a lot of videos, and yet you get 4 views per video still. I mean, I don't understand. Maybe I mean I get, well, you know, you look at his profile, has no picture on it, but you know what? Well, I'm not gonna subscribe. I'll throw you a like. I'll throw you a like. I'm not gonna subscribe.
No, then you'll get spammed.
Yeah, I was just thinking that. I was like, I don't want to see all the videos, but anyway, I thought that'd be funny. But more importantly, DTube.
It was funny. DTube.
More
though,
importantly,
yeah.
DTube. God, hold on.
DTube coin.
I gotta change.
Should we invest in DTube?
Let me change my OBS real quick because I want to actually show what DTube is. Uh, okay.
Should
Well,
I
no,
invest in
I see
DTube?
that's not what it's about. I don't care about the coin because fucking coins are all silly. But well, not silly, but really, the reason I'm into this is because I really am starting to understand that I think it's about time we start to, you know, get away from. We basically what they call it is de-googling. You ever heard of like a de-googled phone? Or so essentially what that means is when you de-Google something, you're basically leaving Google services. And it's hard to do it on Android devices because a lot of Android devices come, you could say, Googled. Like the primary software that's already on there is like YouTube and Facebook and like Google stuff, Google Play Store. So what happens when you de-Google a phone is you don't have Google Play Store. Well, then how do you get apps? You have to do it in other ways. There's other ways to do it.
Download APKs. and-
Exactly,
yeah.
exactly. Not everyone wants to do that. Normies are like, so like they don't want to do that. But that is
Yeah, and I mean for
that is
iPhone, it's like jailbreaking. Very
iPhone
similar
is
process.
iPhone, yeah, basically.
Similar process. I
Yeah.
mean, you're not removing software when you jailbreak a phone. You're just allowing your phone to acquire software
Get
from
away from the
places
restrictions.
besides Mac. Yeah,
Yeah, because Apple has like pretty hard restrictions. Like Android's a little bit more
extremely
playful.
hard.
Yeah.
Which is so funny that they have such hard restrictions and yet they're still so susceptible to malware.
Yeah.
Like I don't get it. Like Windows is so lax and yet not extremely lax like Linux or Firefox, but you know, pretty lax, and it's still just like one of the most secure. But Mac is just like super hard. They're like you can't upload anything, and then the reason why is because they're so susceptible to malware. That's why they're so strict on their like on what you can put on the phone because they don't want anything to like fuck up their operating system, get in their shit. But still happens all the time.
Yeah. But from what I can tell, I mean, stuff like DTube, it just makes me think now, like, damn, there are people out there working on it, trying to get this going. And that's not the only, like I said, there's other things like Odyssey,
Rumble.
and Rumble. Yeah, people really hate BitChute, it seems. I don't know. I mean, I've never really used it that much.
Their
but people seem
layout
to hate
is
it.
they're like their website is shit. It's really bad.
This guy says there are still many protocol side. Here, let me share my screen. Actually, my bad. There are many Protocol side, unsolved problems like scalability, fast I/O, decentralized storage, and large scale bandwidth, and some on the logistics side like raw amount of servers dedicated to such application. I don't see these problems being solved in the next 5 to 10 years at least, but solutions somewhere in the middle can exist in the meantime. Somebody already mentioned DTube. That app claims to record transactions on a blockchain, and all of them are somewhat public. Details in the app are not as clear, but in principle could be made today with a specialized blockchain. L2 solutions have been hyped, but they are not good enough for applications that don't require simple transactions. Additionally, applications can't rely on L2 solutions. I don't even know what that means, to be honest. These people are pretty much, they're talking about Ethereum. I'm not super like well versed on that, but I guess all that really just goes to show that I'm looking for other ways. I think that's gonna be like the long play. I'm gonna
Yeah,
just,
because I mean, you really want to get popular on whatever's popular, right?
and you never know when YouTube might fall.
I
Uh,
agree that we should upload everything on every platform, but I do think that committing to something like Rumble or DTube or Odyssey is definitely like a long play for when YouTube does fall.
yeah,
Like all of our content will already be there. We already have a head start. We already have some followers on that channel or on that platform already.
right.
You know,
It's kind of like a
uh,
backup. Like, what if your
yeah.
YouTube channel does get taken down,
Hey,
and then all your videos
hey,
are gone?
I will say this for X22. He uploaded every video to every platform. And immediately when he got struck from YouTube, the next video he made was, "Hey, you all knew this was gonna happen. I told you guys for months this was gonna happen. Good thing every episode is on Rumble, you know, and also on my own website that he built himself, x22report.com." So, and I mean, same thing for Andrew Tate. Like he got struck. Good thing he has his own website, cobratate.com, and is now uploading everything to Rumble. Like, good thing. It does suck that we lose the last 5 years of Andrew Tate content, like completely just gone. So
Well, I mean, it's not like we need it.
no, we don't. I'm just saying, like, if anyone, I mean, maybe it's a good thing because now they can't use it against him. But
And really, like I think what really is the biggest thing is people are already gonna share it, like the way it's always been. People just share his stuff for him and react to him. So that's already like he doesn't even need it. He's never needed his content to be out there. Um, so like it doesn't matter. He can put something on Rumble and then they'll make a YouTube video about it. So it's like he's already broken that. So
absolutely,
he doesn't need to have his content out there. But uh, the regular folks, that's the biggest thing that I'm looking forward to. Is everyone else kind of like being anti censorship, and even the normies, like I said, even I've been paying attention to the normies. They're saying the same thing, just in a different way. They're not as like super red pill as like the Andrew Tate side of things, but they're saying a lot of the same stuff. A lot of people are starting to say the same thing at the same time, and it's gonna start looking really bad for YouTube. It's gonna start looking bad for these companies, and it's gonna get worse and worse because they're doubling down.
and everyone
Yeah.
understands that it's a monopoly.
Oh yeah.
I think like most people are not dumb enough to think that like these are just private companies.
No.
Like
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
like
At this point,
they control the flow of information worldwide.
yeah, they do. They really do.
Anyone that wants to dispute that, I will fight you 12 rounds, like in physical combat. Like
Let's see what someone else is saying.
if you don't
Crypto
like,
apes. I'm weak.
hello, fellow apes.
He said, "That's the point. Everyone can learn from decentralized platforms. Yada yada." I like to come to Reddit for this kind of stuff because these people are just like way nerdier than I
Reddit
am.
Reddit is the front page of the internet.
They
That's what
just
they
there's
say.
just a lot of different kinds of people. Oh yeah, the Theta network. That's right. Theta TV. It's like another version of Twitch. I don't know if it's like YouTube though. He said it's like kind of like YouTube. I don't. I haven't. I really just took a brief look at the site, but
What
when
about
I
Mixer?
Mixer. I've never heard of that one actually.
That's I think it's Microsoft alternative to Twitch.
But see, I'm trying. The thing is, the reason why I want to get away from these big companies is I want something that's like decentralized in the sense it's like open source. Microsoft definitely would never do something open source. Um, and I'm tired like these big companies just soaking up all the power and like control of the I miss the 4chan days. Okay, yes, I get it. Before someone complains, 4chan's full of racism and sexism and every ism and all these crazy things and bad pictures. Okay, fine, yes, but I do kind of miss the MW2 lobbies at least. I just miss the more raw side of like the internet. And I'm not saying it has to go complete ape shit, but we definitely can get to the point where it is decentralized. There are some rules, like a normal like YouTube. I mean, most people don't even complain about YouTube rules, more about the fairness of them. It's not that the rules are like horrible. Like, yeah, they have general rules that most people want to follow, but then like it's the fairness. Like, let's just be fair. And it's not going to be fair when you have a company running it with individuals who are in this group of people who run it. Like if it's decentralized, if nobody really owns it, if it's kind of just like, a lot of it's peer to peer, or like people are just kind of anyone can code on it, like it's open source. That's the kind of stuff that really needs to happen, because then it's going to be really nobody in charge of it. There's not going to be too much bias, like not as much bias. And that's why I'm looking at open source options, because even though I think Rumble, that's owned by people, and I heard some people already complaining about some of their terms of service policies. They're like, you can't talk about Israel. And I was like, oh my god. I was like, okay, well, I don't know too much about that, but it's just there's always going to be something when there's a company on there.
You're absolutely right.
What?
Mixer was shut down July 22nd, 2020 to merge with Facebook Gaming.
Lol.
Look at that.
It's a big company.
At that.
Yeah,
Look at
company.
that. Bill Gates was like, "Hey, Mark."
Yep. Called him up on his de-Googled phone.
Yeah. Hey, Mark, you want to join forces? Get all these simps on one page? Maybe we can make them eat bugs and live in pads.
Give them that fake meat.
Fake meat. While they're looking at that fake meat.
Pretending to give some fake meat.
Meat. Yep, exactly.
Theta is a decentralized streaming. Yeah, that's what it's actually more of a streaming platform. It's not like YouTube.
Yeah.
Not sure if they do normal videos. I've never seen these
Like
before.
Twitch,
What kind of not normal videos do they have? I mean, pre-edited. So yeah, so Theta is a live stream version. So think about it. Theta could be like the decentralized Twitch, and then what is it? The one? DTube or Odyssey could be like the more decentralized YouTube, and that would be huge. The only problem is, like every other startup, Rumble is a company still.
It is.
So
yeah,
I'm just trying to get away from like people getting too much power and then like thinking they can just censor people. Of course, within reason. Like, I mean, if it's okay to, like I said, people shouldn't be putting the most obscene things ever on there. But like, there could be some rules, yeah. But I really want to like start, because I mean, I'm sitting here learning how to code and stuff, and I'm like, man, can't people just make a fucking thing that like just isn't dealing? How do we solve this issue?
It's about scaling.
It's scaling.
It's always about scaling.
How do we get content on these websites? Well, then I'm like, well, I make content too. So not only can I code, or I'm learning how to code, but I'm also learning how to make content. Like, what if I one day could just be the part of the wave, part of the people who just make these websites better and bigger? I don't know.
Yeah. Whenever you're talking about building a business or building up a business, it's always about scalability. I mean, you've watched Shark Tank. That's what they always ask them. Like, how does this scale? How does this scale? What does this look like in 5 years? Like, is it going to be like you're projecting 1 million this year? Is it going to be 3 million next year and then 7? Or is it just going to be 1 million every year? Because like there's no scalability there, and that's not a good investment if you can't make it scale. And that's why a lot of people don't try to make something like this, because they're worried that like it just won't be as big as YouTube. And that's why
there's this guy, actually, he brings up a good point. This guy actually said, developing or building anything requires time and effort. Government won't do it because they love the big anything people. I don't know what that means, but like I guess they like the
big tech, big pharma, big yep.
Yeah, and then some years back, I was forwarded a photo of an old article from 2000 or around 2001. It tried to lobby government to become the platform business to ensure poorer get services too. It predicted precisely how such platforms would gobble up every inch of the world. London taxis are being made useless by Uber. A London taxi driver had to pass exams, which included training, which cost quite a bit. But the experience with such a driver would be extraordinary. This is replaced by Uber, where almost anyone with a valid driver's license become a cabbie. Coming back to the crypto YouTube, who will contribute effort to build the tech you want? Even a Western god did not want Tower of Babel built due to the unity of common people. So I guess what he's trying to say is like it's gonna be it's hard to build these things because the powers that be are like, no, we want to be the ones in
Yeah,
control of this.
it's that, and like he said, like the reason God didn't want the Tower of Babel built is because like people, like common people, are just like pretty unified in what they believe and like and don't like and watch and consume and that kind of stuff. Especially nowadays, like it's all about trends and following, like conforming, especially in like the normie circles. So like if everyone's on YouTube, then everyone's going to be on YouTube. It doesn't matter how big you scale. The thing that is the most popular will always be the most popular because that's why it's the most popular. And so I think that what you have to do is make yourself extremely popular, and then like what Andrew Tate's doing. He's the most Googled man in the planet, gets banned off every platform, goes directly to Rumble, tells everyone to come to Rumble. Now people are going to Rumble. It's like, but that's only working. He's only changing public consciousness because he's so fucking influential.
Yeah, I think the first step is to get, like the people were saying, get content on those websites, and I just get people who are popular, basically.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, and like collaborate, obviously. Like we've been
Oh,
talking
this
about.
person is
Yeah.
a perfect annoyance of why this is so annoying. This guy says, you can use Odyssey. Unfortunately, the anonymous nature of this, because Odyssey is kind of anonymous, that's why I like it too. Unfortunately, the anonymous nature of the servers has made it a haven for the alt-right QAnon propaganda. I'm like, bro, you people are the reason why something can't grow. It's like you're so unable to be even involved in the same website that someone else that you might disagree with will be there. Oh, well, it's full of it. But like, okay, then get you and your buddies to get on there and make and make stuff against it, or watch people
Yeah.
who don't do that. Like, just watch other things.
That's the biggest thing when people are like, it's full of propaganda.
And
I'm like,
BitChute, people hate
don't.
BitChute for that same exact. That's the first thing I see when people say BitChute. Like, oh, it's just a bunch
Yeah.
of crazy
That's
conspiracy
because
theorists.
that's because it's where Follow Cabal is.
But I'm like, bro, even if you don't like that stuff, fine. I don't care. You don't have to believe in any of that. You don't have to like it. But I'm like, just I think the bigger point is you're deciding to stick with these really lame big company things that are spying on us and all this stuff and selling our information just because you can't get over the fact that someone that disagrees with you might use the same website or it's full of people who disagree with you. Like, just make
Yeah.
your own stuff.
That's super whack.
It's just annoying. That's why things like that will never grow. I just stick to YouTube. It's safe space. Like, just shut up, bro.
What's safe space? God damn it.
That's the kind of stuff that
Go
annoys
eat
me.
your bugs and live in your pod, bro. Like, I don't know what else to say to those people. Literally, my friend came up to me and it's like, bro, did you hear about the student loans? I was like, what about them? He was like, well, I got some student loans canceled because of that stuff. I was like, hey, buddy, I didn't go to college. And he was like, yeah. And I was like, yeah, but I'm paying for your college anyway. And he was like, well, blah, blah, blah. Everybody pays their fair share. I was like, no, you're not listening to me. I had $0.00 of student loan debt. And now I have however much student loan debt they
Actually, so
decided to take.
you know more about this. Did that actually get passed?
Yeah.
And so how does that actually? Do you know anything about, like, how does that work?
I don't know exactly how much money they're going to be taking from regular people. But I know that regular people are going to be paying more taxes, and that, people who went to school are getting their loans canceled.
I want to know how this works. I'm about to look it up right now because I really need to know. Like,
Yeah, because it affects you.
how the hell would I even look? Where would I even look for this? Because I know every media is gonna just ignore the fact of where the money comes from. One of the top search questions: how will the student loan forgiveness be paid for? Oh, whitehouse.gov. Perfect.
Yes.
Post high
Tell
school
me.
education should be a ticket to a middle class life. It should be a ticket to just middle class. Don't you dare get up any past that. But for too many, the cost of borrowing for college is a lifelong burden that deprives them of that opportunity. During the campaign, he promised to provide yada yada. Promised to provide families breathing room since 1980. Oh my God! Can we just talk about? Cost of the year for your problem. Today, President Biden's announcing a 3-part plan to provide more breathing room. Okay. Provided targeted debt relief to address the financial harms of the pandemic, fulfilling the president's campaign commitment. Will provide up to $20,000 in debt cancellation to Pell Grant recipients with loans held by the Department of Education, up to $10,000 in debt cancellation on non-Pell Grant recipients. To ensure a smooth transition to, here we go. No high income individual or high income household in the top 5% of incomes will benefit from this action. To ensure a smooth transition to repayment, the pause on federal loan repayment will be extended to one final time through December 31st, 2022. Borrowers should expect to resume payment in January 2023. Make the student loan system more manageable for current and future borrowers. Where is this money coming from?
God damn it.
They don't want to say it. Like they're not.
They just don't want to say it. Oh, yeah, it's us.
I would assume
So-
it's taxes, right? It has to be
No,
taxes.
it is. Listen. So it says canceling federal student loans on the federal government will cost the federal government hundreds of billions of dollars. Outside estimates assume that this will cost the federal government anywhere from $300 to $900 billion. According to early estimates, forgiving up to $10,000 per borrower under Biden's income loans would add an additional $519 billion to the federal deficit over the next 10 years.
Lol.
The administration hasn't provided official numbers, but Biden said at a press conference there is plenty of deficit reduction to pay for the programs. But what does exactly cost the government mean? Canceled federal student loans would be immediately added to the federal deficit, which measures how the country owes more money than it takes in during a year. Who pays for the deficit of the country? Oh, that's what your taxes go to. They don't go to roads and schools and anything like that. They just go to paying off the government's $13 trillion deficit. That's all that money goes to.
Forbes says how reducing the deficit can eventually fall on customers because like it's adding to the deficit. Some express
Yeah.
concerns about the negative effects that large amounts of national debt can have on the economy, including making it vulnerable to rising interest rates and increased inflation, which is kind of like the obvious one. But others
Yeah.
claim that our government has run on a deficit ever since 2001 without many adverse effects. And we wouldn't see much of an impact from canceling student loans. Yada yada. Stimulus checks. Wow, people really know how to talk and not give you what you want to hear.
I know. I'm reading the Forbes article too, bro. It's so bad.
It's just so much nonsense. Like we just talked.
And they're talking about, it says, how the federal government could use, what strategies it could use to lower its deficit. These include cutting down on vital programs. That's all it says, vital programs.
Here we go. Finally. This is what I've been waiting because I kind of already knew, but like I just didn't want to talk out of my ass. But I mean, not like a Forbes article really needs to fucking validate anything. But the government has two options to reduce the deficit: decrease spending, or raise taxes.
Yep.
That, according to some policy analysts, is how the cost will eventually make its way to the general public. Wow.
Yep. And it says, we should increase taxes on corporations, high earners, and the wealthy. Those folks should pay more because they have benefited from having a more educated workforce that produces the wealth they have already accumulated. What? The fuck? What does that mean? Those folks should pay more taxes because they've benefited from people going into debt. No, that's not how it works. The people who went into debt shouldn't have gone into debt that they couldn't pay back because someone told them that they had to go to college. That's not our fault.
That's not my fucking fault. There are trade-offs.
The most important line in the Forbes article, though, advocates say immediate benefits of canceling student loan debt are more important than your money. That's what they're saying. Canceling student loan debt is more important than your well-being.
Spending cuts could potentially slash some of the most important social programs in the country. In 2020, the Congressional Budget Office released a report of various strategies the federal government could use to lower its deficit. This including cutting down on vital programs, including eliminating free and reduced school lunches. Oh, so you'll do that, but you won't reduce how many tanks we build in a year, how much fucking bombs we spend in a year? No, but you won't even think about that. Oh, it's gonna take away from your schools. Like, yo, this is so fucked, bro. I hate when people read this kind of shit and they don't even like realize like all the other places the government spending money, but they don't mention it. They're like, hey, either you want free lunches or you give up a little bit of your paycheck. It's like, dude, we have more options than that. Like, come on, fucking government. Like, y'all are some pieces of shit. Raising taxes to increase revenue could also have an impact. Not only could individual income taxes rates be increased, but the CBO report suggested decreasing or repealing popular tax credits and deductions, including limiting deductions for charitable giving, as steps the government could take to increase revenues. President Biden has vowed to not raise taxes on the middle class, but what future administrations could do to rein in the deficit remains to be seen. Basically, we don't fucking know.
Okay, wait. So maybe this hasn't happened yet.
No, not yet.
Yeah, because it says, I'm reading more Forbes. It says, is Biden allowed to forgive student loans? Will forgiveness really happen? There are growing questions about the legality of Biden canceling federal student loans. This plan is expected to face legal challenges in the coming months. However, legal experts remain divided on whether or not it will be struck down by a court. So this probably won't even happen.
I would certainly hope not, because it's not my fucking fault that you went to college and you can't afford it.
But that means that this is literally just a publicity stunt for voters.
For midterms?
Yes.
Yeah.
That's 100% what this is. Wake up. You haven't even gotten any money back. You haven't even gotten any student loans canceled. And you're already like, oh my God, Joe Biden's the best president ever. He's canceling my student loan. No, he's not. He doesn't even have the legal authority to do it. That's not how the government works in America. Joe Biden doesn't get to just say 100,000 people don't have to pay back $500 billion with the stroke of a pen. That's not 100 million. I don't know why I said 100,000. That's not how our legal system works. You can't, that's not how Donald Trump read the country either, regardless of what you think. Nothing Donald Trump did happened at the stroke of a pen. That's just not the way our country's run. Never has been. There's a reason why no president has ever canceled federal student loans, because he can't. It's not like they don't hear you saying, I can't afford it. Too bad, don't go to college. I literally watched this video earlier and this guy was like, so I saved all my money from the time I was 20 till now. And my daughter's 18 and I'm paying for her to go to college. Do I get my money back?
Yeah, like...
He was talking to Elizabeth Warren.
Oh, really?
And she was like, no, you absolutely don't get your money back. He's like, but I'm going to have to pay other people's student loans because they didn't do the right thing and save their money so they could go to college? Right. Even though I saved all my money so my daughter could go to school and I'm not going to get my $20,000 back, but you want me to pay their $20,000? This is bullshit, you know? And I mean, I like I said, it hasn't happened yet, so... Which is funny, because that, like I said, my friend came up to me and was like, I got $10,000 canceled. I was like, did you? So I had just assumed he had already done it, but evidently not. This is still... But federal student loan forbearance, which is a pause, is still ongoing and has been extended the final time through December 31st, 2022. After this date, federal student loan borrowers will resume monthly payments on their balances. So at the end of this year, everybody who hasn't had to pay student loans for the last 3 years because of the pandemic, it's time to start paying again.
So wait. So, but just to make sure, like, this hasn't been passed yet, right?
No.
I figured. Absolutely. They're just saying it.
Absolutely not.
We might do this. Hey guys, look what we're thinking about.
Well, he made a statement on it. He did a whole press conference on it, and was like, "This is my plan to cancel student loans. Blah blah blah. This is how much it's going to cost. There's plenty of money." That's what he. That's what he says every time he tries to spend more money, like every time he gives aid to Ukraine, he's just like, "There's plenty of money in the federal budget." It's like there's plenty of money for you to send $100 billion worth of military equipment to a foreign country. Who's paying? Like, I don't know why people just don't understand that the federal government only gets money from us. They work for us. Technically, they're employed by us. We vote for them, and then we pay taxes, and they get paid that way. Sorry, I'm split attention.
Yeah, same here. I'm just kind of like, I just can't believe it. I'm like, man, it's so silly. It just, I don't know. I'm kind of annoyed.
Yeah. This is the thing, man. They work for us. We vote for them. We put them in charge, and we pay their salaries. We pay their property taxes. We know where they live. All of their addresses are listed.
We know where they live.
We pay for it, bro.
Yeah.
And yet nobody's outside their houses protesting.
Because this is progress, bro.
This is not progress.
This is progress.
This is regress.
Yeah, this is definitely regress. That was Michael Malice's take, and I highly agree with him. It does, like, if anyone wants to argue with me, please, I will definitely stand on that. This is regressive. How is it progressive? I mean, it's no doubt, and you have seen it. College kids are typically the most privileged people I know.
And indoctrinated.
Well, yeah, but privileged nonetheless. Like, if the left cares so much about privileges, college kids are some of the most privileged people in our society, without a doubt. Anyone I know that went to college, they're all from a well-off family or had everything lined up for them. They're in a college universities are like they have so much money. Like, just look at a university. Go look at one. They're giant and they have so much money. And these people are so privileged. I have never seen anything like it. Like, that's kind of what I realized. I'm like, I don't fit in a college. Like, I'm not from that. Like, I don't have parents who are just gonna pay for my tuition. I don't get all these grants and loans. I did horrible in high school growing up because, I just didn't come from that kind of cloth where people were just like, yeah, you're going to do good in school. We're going to pave the way for you. We're going to talk to your teachers and make sure they give you an A. And, like, I saw that so much, bro. Oh, my God. I did go to a high school that was kind of like for rich kids, but I didn't live in the rich side of town. I just was in that zone. And, like, some of these kids were like, dude, their parents are basically, like, putting so much pressure on these teachers just to pass their failing, cheating kid. And I saw so many people fail and cheat their way through college. And I'm like, and they're so privileged. Like, I'm not saying every single person, obviously, but most of the people, you go to, like, these fraternities, bro, they're all so fucking well off. And I'm like, oh, so it's up to the working class, up to the poor people to pay for them? Because eventually these taxes are going to land on us, the working class.
I've got a friend who runs a Smash scene in Tuscaloosa. He's a frat guy, and he just, like, runs monthlies there, $500 pot bonus out of his own pocket. And I'm like, what the fuck? And he's like, yeah, I've just got it.
Yeah,
like,
just got it.
Yeah.
Didn't have to work for it.
No, he doesn't work. He just goes to school full time.
I bet he went from high school to college, like, directly.
Oh, yeah. Lives in the frat house, part of a frat, tuition paid for.
That costs money, too. Yeah, yep.
No grants, no scholarships, like, literally. And he just, like, runs $500 pot bonus monthlies out of his own pocket. Rented out an entire brewery for a tournament. $1,200.
Damn.
Just said, fuck it. You know what I mean? Ran a poker game at his house, $80 buy-in, bought in like 5 times.
I mean, and it's cool. Like, I'm not gonna just sit here and be like, oh, I'm just hating from outside of the club. Like, hey, cool. If you got opportunities like that, take them. But at the same time, I don't see where it's progressive for me, someone who didn't get to go to college. And I mean, I could have, sure, anyone could just go, I guess, but they'd have to take on a giant loan. I guess I'm, in my opinion, smart enough to realize that's not a smart idea. Like, why would I take a loan that's so huge that I'm gonna have to take the rest of my life to pay off? I don't want to start my adulthood in negative money.
Why would you go to a $120,000 school and you have no idea what you want to do? Like, what the fuck? These kids just go straight. Yeah, just go straight from high school to college, barely understand life, and then they just go to college, and these professors just tell them all this crazy ass shit, and they believe it because they don't know any better. you know, and they are like, I've changed my major 6 times.
Yeah.
I've already spent like 60 grand and I still don't know what I want to do. Probably just going to do business, you know, and you're like, you spent 100 grand to do business. You went to a college, you could have been anything.
Yeah.
They
Yeah.
teach everything there. Everything. Anything you could want to go to school for, they teach it at college.
Business administration. I'm like,
Yeah,
oh,
I swear, bro. I just want to be a CEO. And you're like, "What? That's not, you don't just go to school and then become a CEO, buddy. That's not how it works. Most CEOs didn't even go to school.
They hired people who went to school.
They hired people like you.
Yeah. And cool, not everyone wants to be a CEO, not everybody wants to be rich, not everyone cares. They just want a certain kind of job. That's why, like, when people say they want a specific career, I'm like, cool, you can go to college if you want to be a surgeon. Like, if you want to do that, you have to go to college. That's fine. But I don't care. Fine, go to college. I'm not saying college is bad. I'm not saying college is for idiots. I'm not demeaning college kids. It's just like, yeah, bro, it doesn't make sense for me, who didn't go, like you said, I didn't go to college, but I'm gonna have to pay for it eventually with taxes. Like, that just doesn't make sense.
Yeah,
doesn't make sense.
It's
Oh, we should all
regressive.
help
Backwards.
each other so we can all. And it's, first of
Socialism.
all, it's not even free college. They're just getting some of it taken off.
Oh yeah, if you have a $60,000 loan for college, you get 20K, and you still have to pay the 40.
I'm like, so that's what's the
But
fuck?
we have to pay the 20.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's the rub.
it's
And
silly.
these people, and like the people who saved their money, who got scholarships, they have to pay.
Yeah,
Everyone has to pay. People who went to school for free because they're
damn.
smart.
People who got scholar. Imagine getting a full ride. You're like, wow. The people who think about the people who did come from a bad background and they worked their ass off in high school and they got all the scholarships. They did really well in sports. They were smart. I mean, I knew a few of those kids who were like just well-rounded, like got really good grades, did everything right. They got full ride scholarships. Now they have to pay for everyone else's school. Like, what? Come on, man.
Yep,
Come on.
it's insane, bro. And there's like over 100 million people go to college every year. Or some shit,
That doesn't make
like-
sense.
or maybe it's less. Don't quote me on that. I don't know how many people go to college every year. I
Me
can look
neither.
it up there.
It's a lot. So, yeah, I don't know. I mean, but that hasn't been passed yet, so I guess we'll have to see. You know, I can save my outrage for later. I'm probably not going to be outraged, but I'm just going to. That's why I'm really trying to increase my income to the point where I can start taking tax breaks and.
19.7 million. There's 19 million college students a year, basically. That's what I'm seeing.
That's a lot. Millions.
Yeah, that's a
millions
lot.
and millions of kids.
Millions.
And they have to
Millions.
buy new textbooks every year, even though the one before that edition, the edition before that year was the exact same.
Do you know how much college textbooks cost, Kilo?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
This is Kilala. Kilala's sick right now. She's not eating.
Oh.
I'm worried about her. She's a sweet kitty, though.
Well, at least you didn't go to college.
She's named after an anime character.
Isn't it pronounced Killua?
No, she's named after the demon cat from Inuyasha.
Oh, okay. I thought it was a Hunter guy, the assassin.
No, that's a dope
Killua.
character.
Yeah, such a sick
Killua.
character. He would just murder someone so fast with his sharp nails. He just I was like, God damn, like lightning fast. I was just like, yo, he was so cool. He was like, I'm hardly even trying. He's like, I want to see me go on my dad mode, like my parents did. Like I'm like,
And then you see his parents, and you're like,
you're like,
what
oh
the
my god!
fuck?
I was like, this is a Greek god, and like,
Christ. The fucking dragons and shit.
dude,
You're just
I was like, they are so. I honestly, that's the one thing about Hunter x Hunter. I wish I could have seen a little bit more of the other characters. I'm like, God, they're so. Everyone in that universe was so strong.
yeah, they get ridiculous.
And then
at
the
the
ants,
end.
I was like, what the fuck?
The ants is the best. The ants is the best part.
Greatest. Oh, it just that show gets better and better. Not a lot of animes do that. We talked about Sword Art Online
Yeah.
earlier.
Yeah.
Hunter x Hunter gets better and better and better each arc. I was like, what
Yeah.
the hell? This is so. It's such a perfect show.
Yeah, JoJo's is like that.
You know what? I don't know if I feel the same. The Egypt arc was a little slow. It's in the middle, and
God, it's so good though.
I still enjoyed it, but it was a little slow. I was like,
It does drag a little bit at the beginning.
in the
But,
beginning,
like,
but
God.
towards the end of the Egypt arc, I was like, oh, okay,
Yeah,
okay.
like when Caesar dies and
Yeah,
like
yeah, yeah.
that's just so hard, bro.
Yeah.
The fucking twist,
Caesar! He was just screaming, bro.
the twisting Egyptian SCDC.
It's this. Oh man, what a great show
That's
though! I
so
still love that
funny.
show. That first
Yeah.
season's actually my favorite, to be honest.
Oh yeah, the first season's amazing.
Don't know why.
I mean,
Everyone else
obviously,
thinks it's like the weirdest one or like the lamest one, but I actually thought just the way it was, the art style and I just love the first season.
I like Starship Crusaders or whatever.
Oh, was that the last one with the Killer Queen?
That's Diamond. He's
Oh,
unbreakable.
that Loki Diamond
That one's
might be my
crazy.
favorite.
Yeah,
It
that
might
one's
be. I don't
crazy.
know. It's between that one and the.
Like I said, it just gets. I mean, it gets progressively.
Oh,
better.
admittedly, I didn't see the very last one.
Yeah, I mean, you should read it. It's really good. The manga.
I've considered buying the Berserk manga, but then I realized, holy crap, it's huge, and I was like,
yeah, and
I don't know.
it's not finished, man.
And it's they're planning on continuing it.
Yeah,
It's like,
But-
it's not the same. The guy died. He's like,
died.
yeah, he's
like,
dead now.
It's his brain.
Now, do you know this? Is this true? Did that guy actually? What's his name again? It's Kira.
Ma,
forgot.
Machida,
Something like that. Yeah. Did he actually draw every page?
I don't know.
From what I understand, he drew a lot of it, but I don't know if he drew like all. I mean, all of it. Like that's when I saw how many volumes and how many pages. I'm like, what the? There's no way.
Yeah, I don't know if he drew it all, but he definitely wrote it all. Like all the dialogue
Yeah.
and like the story. It's like his idea. So it's like, yeah, it's pretty sad.
I'm actually about to look at. I want to know if he actually, Berserk, author.
I'm gonna get some water.
All right, bet. Oh yeah, it's Kentaro, Miura. Kentaro Miura. I want to know if he drew all of the pages in that Berserk book. Because if he drew all of them, that's unbelievable. That's like, how? Of course. What parts does Miura draw? The lady parts. I mean, these images are incredible. He has assistants like most manga artists do. Nobody knows the precise breakdown of what he does versus what his assistants do, but in a drawing like that, they probably do the shading. I can imagine. Yeah, I mean, and that would make sense. Like, how can you? Because if you, I mean, let me just show on camera what it looks like, because it's ridiculous. How what's the word? Detailed. I mean, it's just ridiculously. If you already know what Berserk is and you've already seen it, then you know. But it's unreal how amazing this artwork is. It's beautiful, actually. Let's see. Like scenes like this, like just. Actually, let me put it on OBS so you can see like the big screen. Goddamn. So stuff like this, like that's amazing. Like what? Stuff like I don't know if you choose that one, but I shouldn't have said artwork. I should have been like, I should have said like manga, like from the actual manga. You know, really cool drawings. Like really, it's just a lot of like really awesome shading, and it just looks fantastic, and it's really dense. I think that's the biggest thing. It's like it's really dense. So I would be hard pressed to believe he did it all by himself. Probably not. Like you said, people were saying, he has assistants and stuff. That would make a lot more sense. But I mean, look at this. The more I look at it, the more I'm like, maybe I really should read the manga. I mean, look at that. That looks so cool. What a freaking nightmarish world these people were drawing. I've only seen the original show, like the 1997 anime. So never read the books. So I don't have a complete understanding of the story. I'm sure it goes on a lot longer. I can only imagine how far this really goes. It must be really cool because I'm not gonna lie. When I finished finished the anime, I was like, wow, I kind of left me hanging. I was like, I want to know what happens next. Like, clearly something happens, right? Especially if the manga keeps going. Yeah, super cool. Just a lot of cool art. Really detailed. Here, like that. Pinterest. Why is Pinterest so popular? I figured Instagram would have killed it, but I've never used it, so I don't know anything about it. Yeah, look at that. I mean, every scale, like tiles on the and it's everything. It's really small too. Like that's so cool. I think this is like fan art. It looks like some fan art. That's what I'm trying like not to click on like any fan art because I don't want to get confused. But perhaps I mean, and also I was looking at the prices to buy the manga, and I'm like, it's kind of expensive, you know, because there's so many books. Collection price. My typing sucks. Let's see what the price would be like. Amazon, of course. $491. It's on sale. It could have been $700. But this is full 40 book collection. Everything. You can get it. Wait, how is it used more expensive? And look how many books. I mean, it's a lot of books. 40 books. I don't know where like the manga I keep saying that. I don't know where like the anime ends. Which book does the anime end on? I would assume. I mean, I guess I'll never be able to tell which is the picture. Created by Miura. Sorry, I don't know his name. Violent, horrifying, and mercilessly funny. And the wellspring for the internationally popular anime series. Not for the squeamish or easily offended. Yeah, it's definitely not. If you haven't seen the anime, I highly recommend it, but it's
What'd you find out?
gets pretty crazy. Oh, I was looking at the entire collection of all the manga, and it's $491.
Ooh.
Yeah, it's a lot. The hardcover is even more. It's $568. And actually, that's 568 for just books 1 through 11, not all 40. But
Oh
look,
my
but God. So anime only covers the Golden Age arc, which is a flashback arc. It's just a flashback. Oh my God! But reading the manga, you have to start reading from the Black Swordsman arc, which is the first volume. Read Berserk for free. 123 movies.
No, it's literally readberserk.com. And it's like a website dedicated to reading Berserk.
Read Berserk manga online.
Readberserk.com. And it has the art and the dog. This is insane. It's called Read Berserk.
I'm weak.
You're looking at the same thing I'm looking at, right? This
Yeah.
is
Oh yeah.
insane.
Yeah. Yeah. It's literally the artwork. It's literally a picture of like every page. Oh my
Page,
God!
dude,
This
yeah.
is actually
Dude.
insane.
That's what I'm saying. You don't have to buy it. Alex told me keeps telling me to read it, and I'm like, bro, I don't, you know. He's like, no, bro, you can just read it online. Like, you don't have to buy it. And I'm like, okay, but I didn't know where. I didn't really ask because I don't really want to read it. But
Like fuck that.
But yeah, so here it is. Readberserk.com. From the beginning all the way to the most recent chapter in 2022 when he died.
Wow, that's actually pretty amazing. It's all here. Holy shit.
You never underestimate the dedication of fans.
No, but admittedly, if I had the money, I would still buy it. That's just me. Like
That's what I mean. That's what I say. If I had $560,
yeah.
I would jump right on it.
yeah, I just don't have that kind of shit right. I don't want to spend all that money. But this is really cool. I mean, it's everything. That's awesome. It's like even everything. It's literally everything. That's so sick. I wonder how far the story goes, bro. It's not even done yet.
No, it doesn't. Nobody knows. He died. That's why it's so fucking sad, bro. It's 40 chapters. It's 40 volumes. It's like 300 and something chapters. And then he just fucking didn't finish it. Didn't leave anybody instructions on how to finish it.
Yeah.
Didn't even tell. I mean, I don't know how he died. He might have died from COVID or something, you know. But
Well, I think that was a pretty good episode, man. You want to maybe do a gaming stream?
yeah, what do you want to play though?
Shit, bro. Anything. I'll fucking play anything. I don't give a fuck. I mean,
Okay.
I've been really into indie games lately. Like, I think that's just hype. But we could play something popular like League of Legends, or we can play something like, Fall Guys, or whatever the popular shit. But I mean, I don't care about views, to be honest. I like playing like just crazy shit. I've been really fucking with the indie games. But whatever, bro. We can play anything.